Hi there and welcome or welcome back. I'm a little sick. I debated making a video because I'm working on one right now. It's not going very well. So I'm pushing that one off. We'll get there, maybe. I do have a little bit of a sinus infection, so sorry about the voice. I thought that today would be a good time to just take a little chill video and talk about my favorite art supplies of 2024. This could also be a really handy buying guide for either you got some money for Christmas or you want to buy your artist friends or family or loved ones something. It would be a safe bet to get anything I mention in this, honestly. So let's just get into the supplies. Let's talk about paints first. So it's no surprise if you watched anything here on my channel that I do have a very particular paint that I like using, which is in here. It would be Holbein acrylic gouache. These are my favorite paints, just because you can get so many different colors instead of having to mix things, so that's fun. But also they're just very they're very flat, and they also can't be reactivated by water like just regular gouache, so that I love that. I have the little Himi gouache pans, like, I don't know, the square rectangular boxes that come with the little jelly gouaches. That's what I'm looking for, jelly gouache. I have those. I don't hate them, like, they're fun, they're great, but you can reactivate them, and I don't like doing that because I'm just very heavy-handed. I'm not a gentle art maker. This piece I did, it's a fan art piece I made for the game Night in the Woods. Wonderful game, love it. On here, I don't know if you will be able to tell from here, but this black down here is a little different from the rest of it. Even when the light's not hitting it, it's just super shiny. You can tell right here. Like, that just looks different. And that's because this was all done using acrylic paint, but just different paint. A lot of it was done using Apple Barrel because I had these colors readily available. But then, like, for down here, I had to mix in a bunch of golden fluid acrylics. Also, don't mind my nails. The nail polish stained them, so this dries down really glossy. Whereas, like, the Apple Barrels that I have, these aren't glossy when they dry down. You can see the difference of this, which was done with gouache, and this that was done with acrylic. Yes, this does have a semi-glossy finish on it, but this is about how the paint looked. This does have a matte on it, but it's how it looked when it was done. A matte varnish, rather. So, by far, my favorite paint is going to be the Holbein. This painting is also for sale in my shop, just saying. The only other kind of paint I really use would be watercolor, but it's been a little while since I've used watercolor, honestly, so maybe I'll put that on my to-do list for next year. But my favorite watercolors currently are the Kuretake Gansai Tambi watercolors, and this is how it's spelled. Hopefully that helps. But it comes with this little swatch sheet here, but there's also a swatch sheet on the cover. I mean, just look at the colors. They're so beautiful. There's so many. The fun thing about these is you can water them down a lot and they look like watercolor, or you can water them down less and then you get kind of, it's a more opaque kind of gouache-like consistency, and it's really pretty. Love these pans. They're also removable, so you can just take out what you need. It's got the number on the back, and it has where they go. So, like, you can't mess it up. These are by far my favorite watercolor paints, and you can get them, I think I saw them at Michael's, but you can also get them online. This isn't the best example, I'm aware, and I am so sorry, but the sketchbook, not really made for watercolors. Not meant for a lot. This wasn't my favorite sketchbook at all. So, just to show you, I was doing the Birduary. That sounds right, Birduary. So for this one, I used the Kuretake Gansai Tambis to do all of my birds, and they came out super cute. Again, this paper does not take water very well, It's not good for much other than pen, but super cute. And see, you can get like really dark colors with the watercolor fairly easy without having to build up a ton of layers or anything. You can just mix less water, which is true with watercolor too, but this makes kind of like a gouache consistency. Next, let's talk about markers. I've tried a couple of brands of acrylic markers this year, and the ones that I really liked are the Artex ones. They come in these boxes of 60 colors. They are brush tipped, and they come with little markers, obviously. They come with little stickers for you to put on the ends so you know who's who. These are just so smooth. These are really great acrylic markers. I love them so much. It's when you're sketching and you want a pop of color, when you're sketching and you want a pop of color, this is the easiest thing to go for me. But an example of the markers is, there's my swatches, and then you can just doodle. It's easier than having to get out all of my paint and then my brushes and then my jars of water and then some stuff to dry my brushes on. It's just, this takes 2 seconds to pull out the box of markers versus, I mean, granted, sure, it doesn't take forever, but I have ADHD. If it's not readily available and if it seems like too big of a task, I'm not doing it. I will not do it. But these are easy. Pull the box out, you're good to go. And I've used them in a couple of videos, and they're great. They're just really good markers. Plus, they're pretty affordable. You can get different sets, and they're always having sales. My favorite alcohol marker has to be Ohuhu. I love Ohuhu. I had, not like a set, but I had a lot of Copics, and they're just very expensive, really. I had a couple of colors that no matter what I did, they just exploded all the time. Ruined everything. Ohuhu. They've got different sets you can get. I bought mine a couple years ago, and they're still going strong. Granted, I don't use markers like a ton. I did. I went through a really big marker phase. But different sets you can get. Look at that. That's a massive amount of colors. I don't remember how much this was. Maybe I'll put it on screen if I remember. Well, we'll see. But they have a large selection of colors. My only problem is that they're all very bright and vibrant, which you may be like, but why is that a problem? That sounds like the opposite of a problem. Sure, but whenever you want to do something really pale, you don't have that option. Like, you don't have a really super soft purple. You don't have a really subtle, barely there pink, or even a brown. Any color. So you would have to get the pastel set. In this, there's not a ton of super great skin colors. Again, because they're all so saturated. But I got the skin color pack. It has a wider variety. I would like to see more. I'll have to look. I haven't looked at their markers in a minute because I've just had these for a while, a couple years now at least, and they're my favorite markers. Love them. They're great. Some examples. I like to use color pencil with my markers, so you'll always see a lot of color pencil with them. It's always taco night. So my favorite markers, definitely for acrylics, the Artex markers, wonderful brush tip, and for the alcohol markers, Ohuhu, for sure. I wish I had a favorite sketchbook to tell you. I don't. The last one that I purchased was this Handbook Journal Co. And granted, it's not an awful sketchbook. And I was able to do some things that I really enjoyed in it. So it's not that it's a bad sketchbook, it's just not great for the way I like to make art. It very much needs, like, it can't take water. It and water don't get along. It also just like bled through. Not great. The paper's really thin. You can see like ghosting of things from a couple pages over. It's really good for pen, for sure, but that's about it. If you're using some sort of a mixed media, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I guess I can say my favorite sketchbook that I did use this year was the Artex sketchbook. I like this a lot. I haven't used it a ton. I just haven't been sketching the last half of the year. But as you can see, a couple pages in, it's already blank. But this is a really good sketchbook. The paper is really thick. I feel like you could even use watercolor on it, and it is slightly textured. So maybe even pastels. Honestly, I don't think you could go wrong with getting this, especially for someone who likes markers. This, great. It's great. So I used heavy on the blue here, but you can't see it over here. These are the acrylic markers. There's no ghosting at all. And I mean, I even used white and creams. So yeah, I'll say I like the sketchbook. This is a good sketchbook. Did I use it a ton? No, that's not its own fault. That's mine. Favorite color pencils, you already know, has to be Prismacolor. I don't have a ton. All that I have are consolidated into this tin. They're buttery smooth. They're super great. I love them. The last section that I'm going to cover would be my favorite sketching supplies. I have a little bag that I got from Michael's a while ago. I got this one specifically because it has this so I could put on the back of my sketchbook. But in here, tons of stuff. A lot of stuff I don't use. My favorite things for making big chunky sketchy lines would be these Zig Writers. You can get them in, well, they have two nibs. They have, I keep hitting myself in the face. They have the tiny nib, like itty bitty teeny, and then they have the big chunky end, which I like using this just to make big bold lines and to really commit to something. Different colors. These are great. I love these so much. So you can just get like really thick lines and not have to go over things a bunch, and they're good for blocking in larger areas of color. I really like those pens. For doing line art, I do have two different ones that I'd recommend. They come in a 2-pack, and they're these Tombow pens. There's two colors. There's a blue one and a black one, but they both write black. The difference is going to be the nibs and how they feel. One of them is a little more sturdy, and the other one is a little more flexible. So one's going to give you like more precision, and the other one is going to be more free-flowing. I mean, you can't go wrong with these Pigma brushes. Pigma brush pens. Good night. And you can get them in different sizes. I'm going to guess this is for big brush and medium brush. I don't know what else the B would be because it is big. It's quite large. And the medium. So yeah, quite a big difference between the two. And for like my favorite canvases and things like that, I would definitely have to say any type of wooden canvas. You can't go wrong. Just make sure you sand it if it needs to be sanded. If it's not super flat, no, smooth. The brain fog is real. But any kind of wooden canvas is my go-to. Even like if you go to Dollar Tree and they have little like wooden shapes and stuff, just get those, sand them down, have fun, have so much fun, the most fun. But thank you for hanging out and kind of letting me have a chill video. I didn't have it in me. Oh, you see that? That's a bane of my existence back there. Right there. You see that? That's a hint of an upcoming that's a hint of an upcoming video. That's the one that I just can't right now. I'm very stressed. I have some fun things planned for next year. I do like to paint some trading card game cards. That sounds right? Like Pokemon, Magic the Gathering. I do alter those and make them into full art cards. It's a lot of fun. I haven't done that on my channel in a long time, and I bought some cards yesterday to alter. So watch out for that one. Thanks again for just hanging out with me and letting me rest and recuperate. This sinus infection is rough, to say the least. I'm not sure when my next upload is, but if I don't see you before Christmas, for those that celebrate, I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. For those of you who celebrate any other holiday, I hope you also have a very wonderful time celebrating whatever it is you celebrate with people you choose to celebrate with. If you've made it this far, you've at least had a little bit of fun. You can drop this video a like, and you can subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell for notifications. That way you never miss an upload. And with that, I'll see you next time. Bye.